Okay, what's up, guys? It's me, We're Hyde. How's it going? How you doing? So, I wanted to talk to you guys about how you, my dear, can be the perfect wife, like myself, who's been married for 3 years to someone that I've been together for 6. Now, past the bullshit, though, I do want to let you know there is no such thing as a perfect wife. Okay, that's just not real. It's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect husband. There's no such thing as a perfect child. There's no such thing as a perfect person. So get that out of your mind right now. All right. Now, I know that most people see the perfect wife as, say, like an Aisha Curry, but we all saw how that kind of fell down when she showed her truly human part. And she showed that, you know, even as a wife, I still want certain things. I still have individual needs and wants. I mean, whether you're one of those wives who feel like my husband is the only one who should ever feel that I'm beautiful. You know, my husband is the only one who should ever tell me that I'm attractive. If that's your thing, that's fine. All right. I feel like you should, I personally enjoy a good compliment here and there. I like just being told I'm cute. I like it. All right. I like it. It is what it is. That does not mean that as a wife I'm going to be like, "Hey, let me just cheat on you, let me just ruin my whole marriage because some rando gave me a compliment about my good looks." No, I don't even think I think that's ridiculous, and it kinda shows the stereotypes that come when you try to be a perfect wife or if people perceive you as a perfect wife. Luckily, people perceive me as a shit show. My husband loves me. My husband thinks I'm perfect for him, but, on the outside, most people just see me as a shit show. I'm sure most people think, "How the fuck is this girl even married?" Okay? How did that even happen? But it's more of your wants and your needs, as a wife. That's really what's important. It's not really about aiming for perfection because it's never going to be there. It's really just about aiming for what you want for your family and what your role as a wife will entail for your family. For me and in my family, as a wife, I want to be nurturing because I'm naturally nurturing. It's just in me. I'm the one who's going to hold you when you're crying. I'm the one who's like, "Don't hit that baby." That's just me. That's who I am. So my husband gets that part from me because that's who I am. You know, for me, I love that. I love to nurture. I love to cook. So he's going to get some food when I feel like cooking. If not, we're going to order out. But, I'm also kind of cheap, so that kind of works out as well because, cheap. I want to cook more and more. I'm actually pretty good about cooking. Um, and, cleaning my old Chrome box shits over there. I don't even know what that is. That's not even my stuff. I don't know what's over there, but it's over there. And I haven't even moved it in like 2, 3 videos, as y'all have seen, because it's not mine. I don't know where it goes. Somebody's gonna do something with it. Eventually, it'll probably be me because it's gonna annoy me, but I'm not that wife, okay? I'm not the wife who's gonna be like killing you over dishes in the sink, though I will yell and scream when I go to my husband's room because this is a different part in the future for the type of wife I am and what I need as a wife. But when I go to his private area, his room, and I find plates and bowls galore, Imma flip on that, like, cause then we don't have nothing, like, what am I gonna eat out of, you know? What am I going to use? Like, he used my knife. Let me not get into it. I'm not gonna get into it, but that type of stuff, that type of stuff will annoy me, but as you can see, I'm just not the person who's gonna get upset or angry about slight mess because I kind of feel like it's mess. Like I'll get to it eventually. It's not gonna kill me. Um, past that, there's not a whole lot of things that I do that's stereotypically wifey like wife-like. I'm a loyal wife just because I expect loyalty in return. So it's like I don't really expect anybody to do something for me that I wouldn't be willing to do for them. So if I'm loyal, I expect you to be loyal. If I'm nurturing, I expect you to be nurturing because I need to be nurtured too. I can't just always be nurture, nurture, nurture. You know, if I'm Loving, I want love, so it's like, if you want to be a perfect wife, first thing you need to do is figure out what kind of wife you are. Like, what kind of wife are you going to be? Like, are you going to be the wife who does cook, clean, do the dishes, take care of kids, basically old school stereotypical wife? Is that what you're going to be? Or are you going to be more of an independent wife who wants to make her own money, do her own thing, build her own life on the side of being a married and having a family and things like that? Like, what kind do you want to be? What's important to you? And then after finding out what's important to you and what you want to be as a wife, think about what kind of husband you want to complement that. For me, I wanted a husband that would be good for any children I have. I want a husband who's strong mentally, who I can have a conversation with, who I don't mind loving, who I don't know. I guess I don't mind loving. I'm trying to go through all the thoughts I had before I actually got married. Hold on. um, and who I can like live my life with fairly easily. And I never found that until I met my husband. You know, like we've been together almost 6 years, and it feels like we just got together like a month ago. Sometimes, like it does. Like the time just kind of flew. It just flew by. We've had ups, downs, all that, but it just flew. I've had way more happy nights than I've had sad nights. I've had more loving nights than depressing nights, and I have a great husband. He fulfills those needs that I wanted. He would be a great dad. He makes a great partner. He's he's fairly responsible, as responsible as myself, I would say. We are still a little wild, we were not the best, but I can't ask him for a whole lot more than what he already gives, because he already gives me a lot. He already gives me a lot of himself, of everything. My husband's the type of person who I would never be stranded anywhere, ever. I was out in the middle of the woods with one of my friends because we decided we were going to go hiking. And this fool came and picked us up from the middle of the woods using GPS because I don't want to say full, but my awesome husband, he did. And this was before we were even married. This is how I knew I was going to marry him. Okay. Because he had proved himself to be a good husband beforehand. He came down 2 hours away. It was like a 3-day walk for us, but he came down 2, 3 hours away to pick up me and my friends in the middle of some freaking woods via GPS alone. Okay, if that's not dedication and that's not love, I don't know what is. All right, for me, I was like, I'm gonna marry this man, and I did, and I'm glad that I did because honestly, I mean, I've had other proposals before, but I just knew it wasn't right. I knew that that guy was going to hurt me in the long run. And it turns out they did. Like they did. I always tell people don't get married for the first 2, 3 years. You know, at least 2 years you don't want to get married because you're not really going to know somebody unless you've lived with them for at least a year or two and you've seen them go through various aspects of life. People can fake the funk for like a year. It's very real. They can. After that second year, that it's going to be really hard to keep up that false act. It just is. You're going to know if he's a woman beater within the first 2 years. You're going to know if he's possessive in the first 2 years. You're going to know if he's going to be loyal to you for sure in the first 2 years. Then you're going to know. It's just cheaters are going to be cheaters. Unloyal people are going to be unloyal. And I'm not going to say like later down the road he's not going to be a cheater, but if he can't be faithful to you for 2 years, he's never gonna be faithful to her. He's never gonna be faithful to you. All right. There's just no hope at that point. So I always tell people, give it a few years and then decide. Because for in this society at least, marriage does have certain um it does have certain expectations. You're expected to be husband and wife. Whatever that really means to you, I don't know. But on a societal level, it means that you are basically one. All right. You're building a unit together. You're building a family together. You're planning on bringing children into this world. You're planning on, creating a culture basically together. So it's kind of cool to me when I think of marriage. I've always thought of marriage as something more of a responsibility than just like something that you just like it's a title. Like I've always thought of it more of like responsibility versus title because It's two people who are coming together basically for to build a culture, to build a family together. Whatever we do, if we have children, we don't have children yet, but if we ever have children, our children will take all of the things that we have together and go forward. If I'm a shitty mom to them, they're gonna have issues. If my husband's shitty to them, they're gonna have issues. It doesn't matter how great of a mom I am. It doesn't matter how great of a dad he is. If either one of us are just fucked up people, they're gonna have issues that they're gonna have to overcome, and I just don't want that. I just want my children in the future to have as much opportunity and as much greatness as they possibly can. I don't want our relationship to be an issue with that. And then past that, even past that point of the societal expectations, it's more of, your expectations, as I said. Like, what do you want from this marriage? Like, what kind of husband do you want? What kind of wife do you want to be? That those are the main things that you really need to worry about if you're worried about being the perfect wife. You have to think about what's going to be the greatest for you, your husband, and your children. That's all that matters. If you feel like wives shouldn't be out there shaking their ass in the middle of the night, I mean, that's really up to you. That's really your choice, even though I know that there are women out there who can shake their ass and still not cheat on their husbands. I know there are women out there who dress half naked and they still not going to cheat on their husbands or ruin their familial life. And the same as I know that there are modest women who are gonna do all those things. Like, they're gonna do everything. They're gonna do it all. There's what they're gonna just be like, "Fuck it, he don't know." Like, it'll be alright, that's not good either. But, I mean, if that's something if marriage is something that you want, if being a wife is something that you want, you really have to think about those aspects. I mean, you see me, alright? I'm not the prettiest, I'm not the cleanest, I'm probably not the best cook in the world. I mean, I think I am, but probably not. And my husband still loves me. He loves me to death. This man still to this day, if I just get pissed off and just block his ass, all right, he's gonna call my family. He's gonna be like, "Have you guys seen Zori? Have you seen her? Is she okay? Is she around?" Because he loves me. That's just what it is. And the same thing for me. If he just gets mad at me and just decides he doesn't want to talk to me, I'm gonna be psycho. Like, where are you? What is going on? Are you okay? Are you alive? What is happening? Like, I know you're mad, but fuck that. I need to know, like, what's happening. And that's just like the kind of love that we have. And I love him. It's just what it is. He loves me. We're going to build a great family one day. Hopefully, if we ever have children, who knows? But if we ever do have children, our children will love us for being great parents to them. And they'll love us for both our unique, uh, I don't know, our unique attributes that we bring to the family. Other than that, though, I think that's it. I think I've kind of beaten a dead horse at this point. So, peace.